Okay, if Western is not ready, Eukarya, do you want to say something? What has been your experience? What has been your learnings thus far? Especially the challenge. Have you been able to cope? Have you been able to study? Has it helped you in any way? Just say, I just want to hear something from both of you.
Good evening.
Good
Um,
evening.
I've, I've just my challenge actually is just I've not been able to cover up most of everything, most of the syllabus. So I've just been trying to get through my past questions and see if I can, yeah, use that to back it up.
Okay.
Just walk and all. Well,
Oh, all right. I perfectly understand. I perfectly understand. I also came in not quite long, about 5-10 minutes ago. All right, all right. So if I can ask, what are your area of challenge? Do you have a particular topic you want us to delve into before we look into our question and answer that we have set already? Do you have a particular topic in mind? Maybe you are reading it and then it's not just sinking, and you want me to decipher.
no, no, no one in particular.
All right, all right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Western, are you there? Hi, Western. Okay, then let me continue. But Western, when you are able to speak, please, we would like to also hear from you and know where you are having challenge. So tonight, what we want to do is just to basically look at some questions. We have some questions that we have just prepared, we have selected, and then which we believe that is key to this forthcoming examination. This is not AOC. Let me just lay a foundation to that. This is not to say that this is the only thing that you should read or study, but we are just saying that in addition to your study, in addition to the 60 days challenge, we believe that these topics are also important, and it is essential that you go through them, and they will aid your preparation towards the exam. Um, Subject to the permission of Starry Gold admin, probably we'll see how we can get the question and answers across to you. In case we are unable to finish everything, I think we have about 10 questions in all, but due to the time constraint, we have just 1 hour for this, so we might not be able to do everything we have outlined to do. But anywhere we're able to stop, like I said, subject to admin's permission, we'll share the question and answer with you afterwards. So let's start from the first one. Differentiate. The first question says that differentiate between executive and non-executive directors. And maybe I should just say it in advance that I know that there are other things that we need to know. Maybe the tips that we need to know for exams, the do's and don'ts for exam. But I'm sure I would just implore you, please do not meet the live class session for this diet. I think it should be coming when your exam is fast approaching, maybe towards the end of this month or probably early May. So please do not miss the live class session. We're going to be discussing the do's and don'ts, what you need to know, especially for some of you that this might be your first attempt to the examination. So we'll be looking at some do's, some don'ts, the things that you need to do as you prepare for the exams, and we'll also be looking at other live questions and answers that are a bit different from this. So it gives you, so this session that we're having now, it gives you an upper hand, as for those who are unable to partake in this session. So you have something to leverage on, and you have a upper advantage. So without much ado, let's start. Differentiate between executive and non-executive directors. I have the answer somewhere here, so I'll just read through, and then I would explain to you one after the other. And in case you might just want to take note as well as I talk, because permit me, I might be a bit fast because of our time. So when you hear about executive directors, what comes to your mind? Executive directors are those directors that participate in the day-to-day running of an organization. So executive directors are those directors that grows through the ranks. They in the course of their career, every organization have what we call organogram, and each staff is expected to grow through that rank, through each stage of the organogram, and there is a level in the organogram that we call the executive level. So maybe you've had something like a chief financial officer, you've had something like a chief executive officer, you have something like a chief technology officer. These people, they are executive directors. They are in the company. They usually, they are not the owner of the company, but they make major decisions as it affects the organizations. So executive directors, they also attend board meetings, and of course they give report as it pertains to the overview of their department and the organization at large. Now, when we talk about non-executive directors, non-executive directors are those directors that are unlike the executive directors. They don't hold executive management position in the organization. So they are acting, they serve as what we call advisory board. They give advice to the management of the organizations. They tell them what they think is right. So the executive directors report to them in a way, but not directly now. So for the executive directors, they can also be referred to as shareholders in the business. So they contribute to the business. They give ideas. They give suggestions on what to do. Non-executive directors, they also have other businesses that they do. They are not, the business is not their sole main responsibility. So you can see, for instance, Ibukun Awoshika on the board of companies, for example. She is a non-executive director in that company because it is not that company that gives her her daily bread. So, but for executive directors, another difference is that executive directors are placed on salaries and allowances in a way. But why non-executive directors, they collect dividend. And of course, I believe by now we know that dividend are paid when it is declared, not not when dividend are paid once it is declared, and not when necessarily the account is prepared at the end of the period. So that is what we refer to as the difference between executive directors and non-executive directors. So I don't know, does anyone have any question in that regards? Any question, Eukarya? Any question, Western?
No, no, we're fine.
All right, thank you. So moving up from there, I'm looking at the difference between chief executive officer and chairman. What is the difference? So when we talk about chief executive officer, what do they do? Chief executive officer, they are like an I don't want to use the word messenger. They are like an overview. So they are the head of the executive management. So like I said, we have the C. When I was differentiating between the executive directors and non-executive directors, I said non-executive directors are those that participate in the day-to-day running of an organization, and their leader is the CEO. So CEO is the one that oversees what other executive directors are doing, and he or she reports to the board. So as the CEO is the head of the executive directors, chairman is the head of the non-executive director. So is the chairman is the head of both executive directors and the non-executive director. So that's why we call them the board. The board is a combination of the executive directors and non-executive directors, which is spearheaded by the chairman. In some cases, depending on what the chairman is doing, depending on how busy or engaged or how large the organization may be, they may want to have a vice chairman.
We finished the first step on our great green adventure. Nice job cleaning.
Where is the noise coming from? Okay, Susan and Nkechi just joined. You are welcome. Excuse me, 1 minute. Okay, so sorry. So welcome Suzanne and welcome Nkechi. I continue. So for CEO, I said that they are the head. They are the one that lead both the executive and non-executive directors, and of course, that's the chairman. But the CEO just oversee what the executive directors are doing. So maybe when this note is shared, you can just take your time to look at their responsibilities. So moving up from there, of course, we have said that the chairman is also responsible for communications between the company and its shareholders. The chairman is responsible for ensuring that the non-executive directors contribute effectively to the work of the board and for ensuring cooperative relationship between the non-executive directors and the executive directors. So, briefly discuss on the appointment, election, and removal of the board. Now, let me start by saying that board is not static in its real sense. So it is rotational, such that at some point, even if you don't pull out, it is expected that you resign or you retire from the board. I think recently, excuse me, recently, if I'm not mistaken, Code of Corporate Governance allows for the chairman of a company to rule for 10 years. Initially, before now, it used to be 5 years. So, meaning that a chairman cannot occupy the post of a chairman, meaning that someone cannot occupy the post of a chairman for more than 5 years. But I think the Code of Corporate Governance was recently reviewed, and then a chairman can spend as long as 10 years. So once you are 10 years max, you have to resign as being the chairman, and someone else have to take over. And of course, the necessary documentation, necessary CAC document will be updated to reflect same. So on the appointment, so now these are just the processes of appointing. We say that when a vacancy occur in the board of directors during the course of a year, of course, when the chairman, I have just created
Okay, I guess he's having a network issue. I will chat with him now to know what the issue is so that I can join again.
Hello, everyone. So sorry for the network interruption. I had to switch my network. So please, can you confirm you can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Welcome.
Okay. Um, please, what last did you hear? Where did you? I just because I was using my notes, so I don't know what last you had. I just discovered that it has logged me out. So can I hear from the students? Amedu, Western Eukarya, Suzanne, Nkechi, what last did you guys had? Did you guys hear? Suzanne, you need to be a bit audible.
Yes, sir, it's audible, sir.
Yeah, so I said, what last did you hear so that I can know where to take it up? Okay, can someone else speak? I need to know what last you had. You guys hear?
Um, that chairmans have 10 years period duration to stay as chairman before they hand over to the next chairman.
Oh wow, interesting. Because I was actually on number 4. I was already speaking to. So that means you didn't hear anything about the appointment, election, and removal of the board.
No.
Oh my word. Okay, let's see how far I can because I was already speaking to number 4, and what you just said you had was number 2. A brief recap of number 3 then. So for number 3, I've said that a chairman can use 10 years, can stay 10 years in the office, and but in the case where he wants to be reappointed, there's opportunity for that for he or she to be reappointed. And then I said that when it comes to a director, okay, that means it was number 3. So I said when it comes to a director, there are different ways by which a director can be appointed. I said that the director can be appointed by nomination, that it starts with nomination, maybe nominating the person will be acting. And when you are acting at some point, then you can gain appointment. So when they see your performance, they can see that, okay, it seems this person is performing well, and as a result of that, the board can decide to appoint you as a full director. So a director comes in by appointment, and the appointment is usually from the board. So the appointment is usually from the board. Can you hear me? Can someone confirm you can still hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir, we are hearing you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so speaking about the removal of the board, we said that a board member can be removed in 2 ways: when there is an observation that he or she is fraudulent, and as a result of that, maybe there is kind of mismanagement of funds, or probably the board does not trust the integrity of such a member. There can be a proposition that such member should be removed, or maybe because the board member has elapsed his or her time. So for every director, apart from the chairman, a director is expected to stay 3 years in office. So once the 3 year has elapsed, I think I have that in number 3. They're expected to stay in the office for 3 years. So if at the end of the third year they feel as if, okay, this person is not worthy of being reappointed, So the board can decide that they should remove him, and as a result of that, such director can be removed. So in essence, directors can be removed in two ways. It is either the director has misbehaved, has mismanaged funds, or probably the time has elapsed. So those are the two ways by which a director can be removed from office. So moving on to that, I was trying to explain growth vector analysis. I said ICAN can tell you to write short notes on any of these things. And I said it's usually a bonus mark for you and a mark to meet up the points. So when they say you should write short notes on the following, the first one is growth vector analysis. And I said that what growth vector analysis is trying to say is similar in a way to product development life cycle, that every product has its life cycle from when the product came into the market to when the product is exiting the market. And that we said that every product will go through this life cycle irrespective of the product. Now, what growth vector analysis is talking about is that as this product are going through this its life cycle, every organization also will go through this life cycle alongside the product. So it means that every organization has they have their birth stage, which is what we refer to as startup. I'm sure you've had organization that will say that this organization is a startup organization. So they have their early stage, they have their growth stage, they have their development stage. I'm hearing a noise. Okay, Ahmed, if you are not speaking, can you please mute? I'm a bit distracted by that. I thought it was my laptop. Thank you. So we have a development stage, and of course we have the death stage. So when an organization goes through these four stages, answer vector analysis is also saying that there are strategies that should accompany all these stages. There are strategies that should be adopted when an organization is just being formed. There are things you don't do, there are things you do. For instance, promotion comes in at the early stage of an organization. So the same way when you get to the growth stage, the same way when you get to the development stage, and when you see that you don't have enough competitors and the organization is beginning to decline in terms of its value producing services. So each stage of the organization has a strategy that is meant to accompany the stages. And Ansoff summarized the potential strategy for product market development with a 2x2 matrix. I'm sure you must have heard what we refer to as growth synergy. That for Ansoff believed that 2 plus 2 is equal to 5. That is, when two people comes together, the result that they will achieve is more than them doing it individually. And 2x2 matrix just consider the risk and possibilities. That's the 2x2 matrix. That's what the answer of 2x2 matrix talks about. That is, the higher the risk, the higher the probability. That when the risk is high, it shows that it is a signal that the organization is likely to break even. That is, the higher the risk, the higher the profit. So it compares risk and probability, or risk and profitability, as some textbooks will put it. Some textbooks refer to it as risk and probability. Some refer to it as risk and profitability. But just know that what he's saying is that the higher the risk, the higher the profit that you are going to derive from such products. So now, moving up from there, we talk about the market penetration strategy. What is market penetration strategy? So an entity seeks to sell more of its current products in its existing market. More of the strategy is a sensible choice in a market that is growing fast. So with fast growth, all the companies competing in the same market can expect to benefit from the rising sales demand. A market penetration strategy is more difficult to implement when the market has reached maturity. So a market penetration strategy is usually obtainable when an organization is at its growth stage. When an organization is what is when we is is at the stage where we refer to, we call it stage two. Stage two. So that's the growth stage. So that is where we can adopt a market penetration strategy. That is when an organization is growing. So Kotler was the founder. No, Kotler wasn't the founder. Kotler spoke about the market penetration strategy, and he suggested that market penetration strategy calls for aggressive marketing, and that there are three ways in which this strategy might be successful. There are three ways by which we can implement this market penetration strategy. One is to persuade the existing customer to use more of the product, and so they can buy more. So because this product is available in large quantity and maybe at a reasonably cheaper price, they it's you can it is easier for you to tell your customers to buy more. And when they buy more, of course, you can derive your profit. The turnaround time for your profit can greatly increase. So secondly will be to persuade individuals who have not bought the product in the past to start buying and using the product. So marketing tactics for attracting new users might include advertising or special promotional offers. So this is another strategy based on trying to increase total market sales demand. What you are trying to do, just have it at the back of your mind that what you are trying to do when you are using market penetration strategy is that you are trying to gain acceptability of the market. You are trying to gain acceptability of the people for your product to be accepted in the market, and of course for the market, for people to know that yes, you are also there. And when they are thinking of a particular product, for instance, when you are thinking of butter, blue band comes to your mind before any other thing. So that is the kind of blue band also went through this market penetration stage. you know there are times, there were periods when they just have to be on people's face for people to know that yes, these people are there and they are really, 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 really doing the work. So that's another thing. So another strategy is what we refer to as a market development stage. For market development, it involves opening up new markets for existing products. New market for existing products. The other one we said is for existing markets, but for new products. Existing markets, we're already in town, just that we are producing something new. And because we already have a brand name, it is easier for us to introduce something new. But in this case now, in this case now, we can say that we are new in the market, but we are not selling something new. So an example of that would be an entrepreneur that want to start selling fashion materials. Fashion materials is not new in the market. Somebody can decide to go to Just Right. You can decide to go to a supermarket and pack different body sprays that smells nice, and then you decide to be selling it. It is an existing product, but you are selling it, you are new in the market. And that's where you hear all these different collections, Tokumbo collections, BC and Co collections, Smell Nice collections. They are not the one producing it. So the product is not new in the market. The product is an existing product, but they are the ones that are just new. They are just opening up as a business. So Kotler suggested that there are two ways of pursuing this strategy. The entity can start to sell its products in new geographical markets through regional, national, or international expansion, or the entity can try to attract customers in new market segments by offering slightly differentiated version of its existing product, or by making them available through different distribution channels. Please, if you have any questions, like I mentioned earlier when I started, please stop me. Just I can't because I can't see the chat. So please, if you have any question, just feel free to stop me and I will take your question. Oh, we have about 12 minutes more, so let's rush. Now, Product development strategy. We said product development is a strategy of producing new products for an existing market. I thought we have discussed this one. Okay, the business might entity might okay, no, not yet. What we discussed was market development. So it's a strategy for producing new products but for an existing market. So there are several reasons for choosing this strategy. The business might have a strong brand name for its product, and it can extend the goodwill of the brand name to new products. The entity might have a strong research and development department or a strong product design team, or the entity has to react to new technological development by producing a new range of products or product design, or maybe the market itself has growth potential that has been provided that new products are now developed. So all these things are reasons why an organization might decide to choose either a product development strategy or a market development strategy. So, but with just what ICAN has asked us to do is to explain both concepts, which is what we have done in detail. The next question says that we should define the term strategy, differentiating clearly between product-based strategy and resource-based strategy. So the term strategy simply means different things to different people. Strategy can be regarded as those measures or policy framework that are developed by an organization with a view to influencing the achievement of set organization goals and objectives. So the organization has said that they are going to achieve certain goals, maybe at the beginning of the year. So strategy just try to answer the question how. How do you want to achieve those goals? You have said that you are going to make 10 million naira profit in 2024. How do you want to make those profits? Where will those profits come from? Which of the customers are you going to sell to that will give you that profit margin of 10 million naira? So the strategy try to answer the question, how do you want to go about it? That is just the simple definition that we can give to strategy. So they are basically designed to accelerate the pace of development of an organization. Strategy are designed and developed by top management level of the organization, and we have two types, as the question has rightly stated, that we have the resource based and we have the product based. So let's quickly look at the difference between the two. For resource based strategy, a firm should identify the product. Sorry, for product based strategy, I mean that a firm should identify the product that it wants to sell and the market or market segments in which it should sell them. So the focus of attention is on which products are likely to be the most successful in their market and so the most profitable. So what we are looking at here is that our strategy is not based on the people that we have, it's based on what we are selling. That's why we call it product-based strategy. We're looking at it, which of our products will sell more and in which geographical location are we going to sell them. So that is product-based strategy. Maybe for instance, you are a producer that produces different type of products. Of course, the market acceptability cannot be the same. The masses will accept one product against the other. So you as a person will be the one to now say that which of these products does my market accept more. So the one that is accepted the most is the one you are going to push out for people to see and of course to appreciate. So having said that, that product-based strategy deals with products, maybe just to put a context, Amel and Prahala suggested that instead of a product-based strategy approach, entities should use a resource-based approach. Instead of looking for the most profitable product, an entity should look at the strengths and competencies in its internal resources. And why did these theorists suggested that? Reason why they suggested that is that when you have the right team in a place, profit is inevitable. So when you don't have the right team, you will be the one that will be chasing after profit. But when you have the right team in place, profit will be the one that will be chasing you. Sales will be chasing you. You have better control over the market. You can imagine when a customer comes into an organization, the first set of people they will see, they are the customer service officers. If this set of people did not address them well, they will not come back. It's not that they will not come back alone. They will not. They will destroy the brand image of that organization, and as a result of that, they will never introduce anybody to patronize such organization. So what we are saying is that what Amel and Prahalad is saying is that when you have the right set of people on ground to run the business, definitely you will drive profit. But if you are after profit and as a result of that you are using a cost differentiation strategy where you are selling your product at a very high price with a high profit margin, in no little time, before you know it or not, before you know it, your competitor will begin to rise, and as a result of that you begin to lose the market share. So that's why they say that you should focus more on the resource, that an organization should use resource based strategy instead of product based strategy. So resource based is when you are looking at what you have, how you can maximize what you have to produce what you are able to produce, and believing that if you manage what you have very well, which includes people, which includes system, which includes corporate governance, if you are able to manage all those things very well, profit is inevitable, which is the sole reason why an organization is existing. Before I go to number 6, maybe I should allow one or two people to say something, to ask questions. Any question thus far? Nkechi, Suzanne, Eukaria, Western. We might only be able to take one more question. That's number 6. But I thought to ask if you have any question. I think Susan has said that. I'm sorry, Eukaria had mentioned that she need an overview of everything, which we are trying to do. But for Susan and Nkechi, do you have any question thus far? Maybe while you were reading, you came across some things that were not so clear. Okay, sorry, Starry Gold. I'm just seeing this that someone is raising his hand. Who was raising his hand initially? I wasn't seeing the messages.
So you
So,
can continue.
Susan, can you say something